Time is a weapon for nature, the ultimate cleanser. While water, given enough time, can conquer mountains, the flood can come in an instant, giving no time to those that stand within its way. The flood is nigh, and I bid you goodbye.
Hello, Dungeon fans. It's the Liching Hour, and tonight, in Tales from the Dungeon, I'm playing the Apocrypha Adventure Card Game. We are in the last mission of the Book of Animus. Evangeline Rose and Savannah Proctor are going to be meeting, we think, well, yes, they're going to be meeting Gaia, the novum of nature, she who controls all life on Earth, other than, of course, humans. Humans, she thinks, are tools of the other novum, being used to strip away her power by just the very nature of humans, of taking over things and changing things, and being the almost parasitic force that they are. She's a little angry at them. She's angry at the other novum. She's angry at people. She's bringing her full force to New Orleans. Last episode, she arrived in Jacksonville, out of the old crater of the Jacksonville, Mississippi is built on top of a ancient volcano, and she came out of that. And then our heroes were there to witness her coming out. This gigantic woman burst out of the ground and started walking towards New Orleans. Evangeline and Savannah, on foot, raced after to catch up with her. Of course, they're not. She was gigantic, walking. Think Godzilla. Luckily, Terry and Brian were the two animal activists that had dropped them off and given them a ride to Mississippi. They had not honored like the desires of Evangeline and Savannah in order to. They wanted them to leave. They did not honor that. They stuck around. Thankfully, because they were able, Savannah and Evangeline saw them as they exited the state fairgrounds in Jacksonville. Terry and Brian waved them down, got them in the car, were like minds blown by having seen. They had talked to Savannah and Evangeline, and they kind of had a kind of idea that they felt that something bigger was going on, but not that big. And to see this gigantic, green, pregnant, fiercely upset woman walking by was almost overwhelming. Now, Evangeline and Savannah and Terry and Brian raced back to New Orleans as fast as they could. They did not get there before Gaia, and when they did get there, it was obvious that Gaia had come. The hurricane that had come up just the day before was back, but there was more. There was people running around the streets, not just because of flooding in some parts, but animals and were running free, some of them attacking people. It was basically they could return to a war zone. The radio was telling them that a woman had been seen, a gigantic green woman had been seen on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain at the what up, Turco? How's it going, buddy? Reports have been seen of a gigantic green pregnant woman walking along the shores of the Lake Pontchartrain. That's where we're going to start off. Is the ladies making their way through all the rain, the animals, and the people, and all the different shit, all the chaos that was going on in New Orleans. They made their way down to the Seabrook Floodgate, which is right on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain. And that's where we start off. That's the shelter. Hey, Cat Chats. How you doing? Yeah, it's kind of a new thing. Bet you didn't know liches could grow beards. Now you learn something new every day. TIL. Okay, so that's where we're going to start off. This is the final chapter, is the Battle of New Orleans. Our heroines are desperately trying to get to Mother Gaia. They do not plan on harming her, and they haven't quite figured out what they're going to do once they do meet her, but they're going to be trying their best. Glad you could stop by, Cat Chats. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. First up is Evangeline. We'll see what we got here. Evangeline's got a couple Omens of Doom, of course. She's got a couple mind cards. Her phylactery. I do love a good phylactery. And Slash and Burn, which is kind of a new fun spell, which has got like Keanu Reeves mixed with Snape on the Hey, Spooky Sprinkles. Spooky. Hey, Betty. How are you guys doing? Spooky, are you a lot cooler? I hope. All right. Shall we begin? Tonight's mission, there isn't anything. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. I've got 4 locations. I've got to close all of them. Well, closing the final one by defeating Mother Gaia. And then the Omen deck, though, has 8 monsters in it. So as I draw Omens, I might have to deal with creatures. That's good. That's good, Spook. All right. Shall we? We shall. Anything else I need to do? Oh, yeah. Moon music. I can't have the final episode of this book and not have music. So let's do that. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Apocrypha, mood music. Where are you going? It is the Liching Hour with partner, the Beard, with co-star. With co-host the Beard is what you're seeing right now. You guys are gonna have to tell me if this is a. You have to tell me if that's too loud. I don't think it is. Let me check my volume mix. No, it should be good. I'm doing great, Hammer Man. Hammer! Huh. Good God. Right off the bat, there's some bullshit. Right off the bat. Okay. We'll figure out we'll see what that is going to be. I have to choose one randomly. Actually, that's a great thing. Heck, is great if I can. Oh, it's kudzu. Okay. So, for those of you who've been following along, or those who haven't, a huge hurricane whipped into New Orleans out of nowhere a night ago in fictional land, and eventually in Savannah had gone down to the levees on one part of New Orleans' levees because they'd heard reports of this green plant life coming in with the waves. They knew that might be Mother Gaia at work, and they had gone, and sure enough, like a whole portion of New Orleans was covered in this kudzu. It did end up being a green carpet, if you will, for Mother Gaia. So they weren't terribly surprised when they finally get to where Mother Gaia was last seen on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain and finding everything covered with this kudzu. They needed to get through it to get to the. There were people who are trapped by it. You'd think that they just walk through it, but people weren't able to walk through it and were falling down and being kind of not consumed, which would be really fucked up. Sure, they were being consumed by it, which is pretty crazy. They would get wrapped up and it'd pull them down and then consume them. Everybody else thinks they just got pulled down until they start clearing it away and find just bones. It strips the meat right off them, which is not something it was doing before. This is a new thing. The ladies are immediately faced with either leaving the area or helping save these people who are on the other side of a big swath of this kudzu. So we're gonna, of course, the ladies are gonna take this kudzu out. which is great because that means I'm going to be able to clear this area like right away. So that's nice. If we manage to do it. So this is Evangeline. She's okay. So her mind is the best. Her soul is actually the best, but her soul is the best. So we need a 16 if I want to use mind. Remember how I said I had mind cards? So we'll use something. So this is good. So we're going to use some absinthe. Use mind. It has conjure, which she has conjure of 2. She just gets adds 2. I'm boosting, which means I have to add another. This is her mind scores 3. Now it's 4 boosting it with the absinthe. So we're going to roll those 5. Do I want to mutate? That's a really good question. I don't know. You know what? I don't want to. Yes. Because I really don't want to screw this roll up because it could mean not having to do this whole stack of cards. So that's pretty cool. And I know exactly how she's going to use this absinthe as well. So we're going to mutate, which means I gotta determine which mutation is. Oh, it's going to be temporary. It's going to be this one. We're going to roll 2 dice. A 5 and a 2. I get to get rid of the 2. 5 is trash 1s. Oh, that's not great. Any 1s I roll, I have to trash them. That sucks. Because I can use 1s. Oh, thanks, Spook. I'm going to add a die. Thank you very much. Must be rich over there. The only one is so fair. He will play again by himself and might lose. Okay. Let's do this. So what Evangeline's going to do is Terry and Brian had a bottle of absinthe in their car and saving it for some kind of occasion. Evangeline asked them if she could take it upon seeing the kudzu, and she's going to create a flaming path through the kudzu. She's going to light this shit on fire. She's going to spray this everywhere, absinthe everywhere, and light it on fire. I'm assuming you can light absinthe on fire. We're rolling. We're mutated. We rolling. They hating. We're rolling, and we're going to be able to re-roll 3 of these if need be. Oh, it needs going to be. I got to trash these 1s. This is a terrible fucking roll. Jeez. All right, but I'm going to be able to re-roll 3 of them, so I might as well re-roll these 3. Explode body dice, yes. Yes, yes. Is there resist threat? No, it's not. Okay. Okay. We need a 16, don't we? All right, I'm so close. I only need a 1. Do I have anything that's going to be... I do. Well, kind of. I do. Because that's a 3. And that's a 3. That sucks. I'm supposed to trash 1s. I re-rolled. I don't. I haven't seen what Savannah can offer. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Mondrian cell. Being able to see patterns. This is Savannah. She goes, wait. She grabs Evangeline's hand as Evangeline starts to throw the absinthe. She goes, no, there. And she points, and just below the surface, they see a mass of the kudzu. It's grown up like 2 or 3 feet. It's actually more, it's bigger and just more aggressive than the last time they saw it. And there's a mass. And so by pouring the absinthe on that, they might be able to kill a whole swath of it. This allows her to evaluate versus threat. That's what we're doing. We're going to roll 1 die. If it's odd, decrease the target number by 1. So now we just need a 15, which is that right there. So Evangeline pours the absinthe out all around and on the part with the mass, and they light it up, and sure enough, it just clears a whole like swath of it. Enough for them to help the people get out. In order to help them completely, got to suffer 1 body damage, 1 mind damage, 1 soul damage. Oh, I see. Now I get one thing I gotta remember about this. Okay. 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 Um, this goes. That's a discard? Yeah. That's a discard. This is a discard. Kudsu's going up, but they rush in to help the people. There's still a little bit of kudzu left, and they start ripping it off, and that's when they realize they find out that this kudzu is a lot more aggressive than the last. The last was just plant life. This was it's biting and attaching itself, and they're able to get it off and use their soul kind of glow to burn it off, but not before she suffers. She, being Evangeline, suffers some body damage. So, mind, she's gonna have to get rid of that card and get rid of that card, and then all three of these cards actually. And then I'm supposed to bury this, I think. No, that's damage from an animus threat. Okay, good. Okay. Discarding that. But they let that people free, and as they're leaving, they're asking, has anybody seen that woman? It was frightful. She was walking through the lake, and she headed down that way towards the levees. Southeast down the coastline of Pontchartrain, towards levees that are closer to the Gulf. We've cleared this, which is freaking fantastic. And we're moving to. Oh no! I'm terribly sorry. She walked past us, crashing through town. Everywhere she stepped, she left these weeds that. Oh my God! Is that George's bones? Oh God! She went into town, towards the fourth quarter. And so Evangeline and Savannah get back in Brian and Terry's car, and they start driving towards the fourth quarter, which is just about southeast of this where we're at now. And it's flooding terribly there, and some places up to their waist. So they get out, and Terry and Brian decide to come with them. We're gonna take Terry and Brian with us this time. They don't want to leave. Basically, it's a swamp. That's what we're dealing with here. Evangeline's got to draw back up to 6 cards. And she's going to pass the turn over to Savannah. All right, so Savannah, Unana, has got Tesla, our favorite kitty cat, a blunt instrument, I like that one, a marked deck, and the Vermicide, which I'm still not completely sure what to do with. I have decided I need a new freaking table. I have to give it up. I need a new table. This one is so ridiculously... Look at that. I just touch it a little bit. It's terrible. I need a new table. I like it because it's nice and it's big, but no. Okay. Savannah, we're drawing. That was the first card, too, of the Doma deck. Omen of Poverty. That's all she got is 2 Omens of Doom. We're going to play an Omen of Doom Poverty. Oh, start. Examine 1. If it is a gift, shuffle this Nexus. All right, we got to check this out. It is not a gift. It's that damn AI. Thank you. Thanks, Turkey. It's that damn AI that's been messing with us forever. Okay, so like I said, Evangeline, Savannah, Terry, and Brian are working their way into the fourth quarter, looking for any signs of Gaia. They're, like I said, the water's creeping up to their waist. Things are floating by. People are paddling by, getting out. This all happened so quickly that nobody could evacuate in time. So there's a lot of crazy shit going on as they're making their way through cars floating down, burning cars floating by. the AI that's been causing a lot of grief for them throughout this whole book, throughout their whole time in New Orleans, isn't done with them yet. The system's cameras are watching them because they're pretty far up on the poles and the buildings, so it's not affected by the flooding. Initiate mind hack 8. If any saints fail, they cannot play gifts during a symbol. Okay, so Evangeline. We'll start with Evangeline. She's got to do a. She's got to roll her mind. Got to get an 8. She's got it. Savannah's got to roll her 8. She's. Oh shit, man! I want to keep those. Okay, so we're good. You may recycle 1 mind or hack gift to keep 4 dice. All right. Soul or rage. We're going to rage for show. Huh? Yeah, we got to rage for sure. 18 versus 16. And this is a resist. And this is good that Savannah, because her resist is 2. All right, so what we're going to try to have happen is this AI is watching them through the security cameras. It's got something planned, something electrical planned. It wants to shock them. It wants to see what will happen if it shocks them, if they get close enough to a police station that's nearby where they're heading towards. However, it does not plan on our little buddy Tesla. As Tesla always appears just whenever it wants and whenever it's needed, and then it's gone just as quickly. Savannah and Tesla have built up a kind of a bond. Tesla is going to jump up, and it'll be playing with one of the cameras up on the rooftops. And Savannah might not even have to deal with this. We're going to use rage, but this is all going to be Tesla. But Savannah will roll it. So it's 3 rage, and then we're using Tesla to boost. Yeah, we're boosting. And then I need to get 16 on 4 of those. We have a symbol versus a resist threat. Here we go. Add 1 bonus die. Okay, cool. Okay. Anything else? Lose versus a non-sac. Holy shit. Huh. Okay. So, I just saw something that I'd forgotten about. I got a couple new cards. And I hadn't with my fleeting fragment cards, which are kind of like level up cards. Got a little surprise from myself later. And you. All right. 5 dice. Do I mutate? Let's mutate. We're going to mutate this sucker. Well, wait, hold on. Evangeline's rage is only 2, but still. I mean, rerolling 2 dice is better than... Oh, crap. So it's still topiary. Still this card. Tesla has to, she's going to fuck up the AI through one of the cameras, but there's kudzu grown up around it. And I forgot, Turkey gave me an extra die, so I will use that here. 4 and 5, we'll keep the 5. Trash 1s. Okay, all right. Trash in 1s. Rolling 6 dice. 10, 14, no, 15. I need a 16, but that's okay, because what I can do is I'm going to recycle this marked deck per that card. Per the card itself, and keep one of these extra ones. That's 19. Peace out. Tesla has a little electricity of her own. She shorts out the camera and ends up shorting out the whole system. The AI's eyes go black in that area. And then Tesla scampers off. Well played. All right. She's not gonna go again. We're gonna draw back up to 6. And we're gonna pass it over to Evangeline, who's gonna draw a new Omen of Doom. Pretty much because I've been playing, this is the 6th book I've been playing. This is the 59th game. There are no omens like you. There's all the omens of good, the good ones. All have this thing where you got to stash them if you've gotten a certain amount of like these fleeting fragments cards, so that the game starts progressively getting harder and harder. And so now it's pretty much all the omens are just doom. She starts here. She examines one. If it's a gift, shuffle this nexus. It's not. It's a devil bird. At least I know it's coming. Let's examine that a little bit more. It's a rage and a body. Rage or body. Which is her 2. Okay. Before she investigates, she's going to use Tree Hugger. It's a soul gift. She's going to bury it to heal 3. Oh, you shoo. Hey, hold on. One thing's supposed to happen right now. At the start of a nexus other than shelter, draw an archetype or an omen of doom from the clock. Okay, wait, hold on. If you draw an archetype or omen of doom, I did draw an omen of doom. Okay. Wait, exchange your nexus card with another random nexus card other than shelter. Huh. That's weird. It's weird. I don't understand why this is happening. But based on the card I drew, this is a special condition of this mission. If it's an Omen of Doom, which it was, I have to exchange this randomly with one of the other ones. I'm not sure why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So instead of the swamp, I count the levee. So if I lose, I gotta sacrifice a body gift. To seal it, I gotta choose one body, 12, or I think that's just for this turn. Huh, maybe not. Okay, we're going to play it. Anyway, so I'm playing Tree Hugger in order to heal Evangeline. 3 cards. She's got 4 in her discard, so this is going to be good. 1, 2, 3. Healing is shuffling them back in. I don't think the appeasing thing works anymore. All right. That's a discard. Oh, that's a berry, sorry. Okay. She's got 4 Omens of Doom in her hand. Okie dokie. Which shitbird card do I want to play? All right, we're going to do this. All right, let's fight a bird and damage bury 1 card. Okay. There's discard and there's burying. Burying means it's out of play for the rest of the game. They're making their way. It's amazing how much I say that phrase. I didn't realize how much until I want to finish it with the whole stupid song. Okay. They are trudging through this water. Looking, every intersection, they're looking up. They're keeping their eyes up because they're looking for Gaia. Listening for her. But it's raining and it's chaotic. And so they're not sure if they're in the right place or not. And then suddenly, it's daytime, right? What was it? That's a good question. I believe it is daytime. By the time they got back to New Orleans, it was dawn again. Yeah. So it is day, light, but still over, they're in the middle of a hurricane. They don't see. She doesn't see the devil bird until its claws rake across her head. And she suffers. Okay, it can be. It's going to be Savannah. No. Hell no. That sucks. I have to discard the only rage card I had in my hand, which was going to help me with this fight. She ducks her head and turns to Savannah and runs up towards Savannah. I'm going to use Protection Pour to avoid this threat. I sacrifice this, avoid the threat, and reload it, which means it goes back to the top. It's come down, it's circling around, and we're going to give it to Savannah to take care of. Is basically what's about to happen. Evangeline's going to draw back up to 6. And we're going to pass it over to Savannah. There's no starting thing, but this is not the shelter, so I have to draw a card. And it's a minion. It's a minion. Okay, so that means this is going to change again. It's going to change back to swamp. Minion is great. It all happens at the same time. I drew this from the thing. It means, oh, actually, that's a great thing. That's a freaking awesome thing. That's awesome. If this happens, oh. Savannah's scanning the skies for this bird that had just attacked Evangeline. And she turns and she sees what she mistakes for wings. And then as it comes down, she's ready with her gator cannon. And then she realizes that it's not the wings of the bird, but the branches of a gigantic oak tree that had disengaged itself from the yard of a house nearby to attack them. Good thing is if we can defeat this, then we can close this location. She doesn't want to use the gator cannon now. Is that an animus threat? It is an animus threat. Okay. Oh. I'm going to use soul. I need 17. We're going to use soul. Because it makes you downgrade body dice. Evangeline grabs Savannah as this tree's coming, and she says, calm it. Try to calm it, she yells through the storm. Try to calm it. Which means to them, they'd been discussing it. A lot of times these animus threats, these animal and nature threats, they had been using their inner soul kind of light to, not to destroy them, but to kind of to calm them, to take the animating energy out of them. That was what happened in most of the cases. In order to not actively seek a violent war versus Gaia. They've been doing this the whole time. It's even more important now, Evangeline feels. So she's going to use soul. She's got a 3. Savannah's got a 3 in soul. Evangeline cannot help with soul. I'm going to use blunt instrument. It's going to represent Savannah's grit. Savannah's grit. She stands there as the tree comes down to grab her, waiting for the right moment to shine the light, as it were. She's going to be rolling 4 for 17. That's a hell of a lot. 17 is. This is charm. She does not have charm. This is, what do I got? Evaluate versus master? No. 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 Explode, body dice. No. It's not resist. Okay, she's got nothing that can help her. Ooh. Okay. I got cards in hand that are going to help. And then does Evangeline have cards in hand that'll help? Here we go. We'll have to downgrade the body dice, but having more dice is going to... The giant tardigrade and Evangeline. I can assemble... When I assemble versus... That's what I'm doing right now. Assembling the dice. Versus an animus threat. The Grover Sentinel. I can shuffle this into the deck to add 2 body dice, which I'll need to downgrade when I roll them, meaning lower them by 1. But you know, it's all good. It's all good. All right, 17. Okay, got to downgrade those. That's fine. This is 4. Oh, the shit. It's 14. That's not 17. What else I got? What I got? I got some things to do in my 14. Okay. So close. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and downgrade these. This goes to a 3. That 1 stays a 1. She's gonna use her phylactery to flip this die. That's a 6 now. And that's what we needed, right? Nope, we still need a 17. That's okay. She has one other card she can play, the Vermicide. I've never gotten a good handle on what the fiction is here. But evaluate versus a threat, which is what we're doing. Bury this to add +2. So it's an 18. That's buried. This is discarded. Phylactery is. It comes down fast through the rain. Its branches going around Savannah with the intent of crushing her against its trunk. As it does that, Savannah reaches out and grabs on to parts of it. She lets the light that's inside her flow out through her hands into the tree. And for just a moment, Evangeline can see the light spread throughout the tree and just through every little bit, every little vein, even the veins in the leaves it goes through. It's a shimmer. And the tree stops. In the morning, people will wonder, in the coming weeks, maybe even years, people will wonder how that tree got in the middle of an intersection. It's when Savannah used her light to remove the animation from it. It returned to normal with its roots burying themselves into the concrete and the ground beneath that. So there's literally an oak growing out of the middle of an intersection. Somewhere in New Orleans to this very day. Okay. And this was a discard. And we have to bury the bottom card of your deck in order to... Okay, we'll bury the bottom card of my deck. There! Through a flash of lightning, Terry swears she saw Mother Gaia heading back west towards the French Quarter. And so they start wading their way towards the French Quarter. They start, Savannah's going to draw back up to 3. No, that's not that. 1, 2, 3. And we start a new turn with Evangeline. This is not shelter, so we have to roll to randomly. Well, there's only one other. So this nexus is actually this nexus. We're not going to play with that fictionally. We're just going to, we'll let that go the way it is. Okay. Eventually he's going to draw from the Omen deck. Based on what I just saw, this is going to be a really short session. Because there's only 8 of these in this deck right here. And apparently I shuffled it really well. And I guess I didn't, because most of these minions are at the top. What are we facing? This means I had to randomly determine a new animus threat. The Venus Man-Trap. She's back. The very first mission in New Orleans. Evangeline and Savannah went to stay with Imogene Cassidy, an old friend of Evangeline's. Imogene's houseman, Michael, had been going out and at night, and Imogene had worried about him because he hadn't come back one night. Evangeline and Savannah found him. He was in the arms and being seduced by a Venus Man-Trap. They used their soul light on her as well. It's we're going to assume it's the same one, and it's been following them. It caught wind that they were in. It senses them. That, or this is a different one, and they find it. It's made its home in an alley. Okay, so they make their way out of. They're trudging through the waters. It's getting lower and lower as they leave the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, the ninth ward. Sorry, the ninth. I keep saying fourth quarter. The ninth ward. That's where they were heading towards the French Quarter. Though the French Quarter is not as flooded, and they're coming out as they're entering into more of the French Quarter. One of the alleys has been taken over with a bunch of vines and stuff. And Terry, for some reason, starts making his way over to this alley. Ladies, vines, Venus Man-Trap. Definitely belongs in the Apocrypha universe, if you're going to ask me. And you might have. So this Venus Man-Trap has set up this sweet little spot where she's catching all these refugees and people running out of the Ninth Ward and wherever. She's just grabbing all these mins. There's men all like tied up in there, like with vines. Some are drained. They're just husks. She's having a glorious buffet. Terry starts walking over there, and Evangeline and Savannah aren't really paying attention until no, it was Brian. Terry's the lady. Brian's going over there until Terry starts screaming. And then that's when Evangeline does a double take and realizes that Brian has been caught. Or called by a Venus Man-Trap. We've dealt with this before. Okay, so mind, soul. We're going to soul this baby up. We're going to suck its power out of it with our body shine. Soul, her soul is 4. Evangeline rocks the hardcore soul. And sense, she ain't got no sense. Neither of these ladies have any sense. Support, discard. Does anyone want to know? All right. Roll them. Roll them. Oh. Mutate. Mutate. All right. Let's figure out which mutation. Finally. 1, 2, 3. The Venus Man-Trap. Man-Trap is rampant. Okay. I'm going to roll 2. 6, and I want to get rid of the lowest one. 6 is add 1 rage die. Hell yeah. So we're going to actually add a die, so that's nice. And we are now mutated, so Savannah can help by letting her reroll 3 of them. Let's do this. We have 13. That's not a 13. So, can I flip? I need a flip. Oh no, I could re-roll 3, right? That's why I mutated it. Good. Okay. 5, 11, and 3 is 14. Just enough. Evangeline runs in there and grabs Brian and pulls him out as in the dark alley as the Venus mantrap herself comes out of the darkness and the rain. It's not raining in the alley, so there's nothing but Evangeline's seeing it through the rain, sleet. She's emerging out. She looks at Evangeline and gets this eye, this squint, hatred, and Evangeline goes into her, which surprises the Venus mantrap. You can see her eyes go wide, but then the hunger takes over. She's like, don't give a shit if it's a man or a woman. It's just easier to catch men, and so she goes towards Evangeline, but Evangeline's already there, and reaches up and grabs her face. And as the Venus mantrap opens her mouth to start sucking out Evangeline's soul, Evangeline gives her more soul than she can handle. The light goes down into her gullet, all throughout her body, turning her into just one, like a topiary, like a bush carved like a woman, a beautiful, voluptuous woman. Am I right? And they're back. They're back. Going into the front. Oh no! Wait. No. Hold on. This is great because that's gonna close this. Choose one. Body resist 12 or suffer 1 die of body damage. So I have to. Eventually, would have to roll 12 on 2 dice. I'm just gonna take a die worth of body damage. So 2 damage. Fine. Make sure the master's not in here. Well, that's gonna be fucking perfect. Told you this is not going. This is gonna be pretty quick. Pretty quick. Standing before them as they make their way. It's like, Jesus Christ, there's gotta be other ways I can say this. I feel dumb keep saying make their way. As they enter the French Quarter, a cry goes out from Brian. And then Savannah sees it too. Over the top of the buildings, further in front of them, they can see the head of Gaia. They can even hear what they can only think is maybe her outraged screaming. As pieces of buildings go flying here and there. The tempests surrounding her, ripping up buildings and rooftops and people and cars. We've got to get to her. All right, so eventually it's going to draw up to 6. I'm passing it over to Savannah. Savannah. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. That's crazy. Okay. I really shuffled those poorly, I guess. Or really well. To get all these monsters, because this is going to make this even quicker. Let's see what reaches dramatically. Oh. Perfect. So, this is Savannah. Something clicks in Savannah's mind when she's standing there in the rain, watching this 40-foot gigantic pregnant green woman with the flaming eyes destroying things in rage. Something clicks in her mind. She somehow can empathize with Mother Gaia's rage. And suddenly feels like she can understand it. Mother Gaia she drives all the systems on Earth, all the earthly systems, and man is the only thing other than the other Novum and their shit. And but man is kind of sets outside of nature, at least as far as Mother Gaia is concerned. So Savannah was like, already Savannah has had so much problems with her life and people, so she can completely empathize with the rage at humanity. But what she feels like Mother might be missing is the fact that they while there is all the things that man does to influence nature, from whether it's from pollution to climate change and shit like that, there is a lot of symbiosis with nature. Like there's a lot of people, a lot of giving a shit about nature and animals, and so that click, Savannah starts looking around, and she starts reaching out and trying something with her soul, the light, a little different than before, than ever before. Instead of using it as a way to push things away or to take things out, or they've been using it as a weapon. She puts out the call. This is someone who's, because of Tesla and this cat, a new thing has woken up inside her. She thought she was just a shell, a husk of a being after all the experimentations, and then the bloodlust that led to her and Evangeline killing all the novum of the physicians to exact her revenge. Then finding herself here, not knowing what her life was going to be anymore now that she was this cold killing husk. But Tesla, the cat, had kind of woken this little piece of her up. This need for and desire for the more innocent, our more innocent companions in this world and life, the animals. And so she puts out this call with her spirit, and I'm just kind of throwing it out to see if she can put out a call to have animals come to her. And that's what this role is going to be. She needs a 12 in soul. She rocks a 3. This is charm and sense. She has neither. So let's see. What can I play up in here? The Scarlet Pickerel. So when she does this and she reaches out with her, the Scarlet Pickerel is kind of like is not like Tesla. For Savannah, it just appears in all these really weird times. And when she puts out her hand, she just does it. And Evangeline looks at her and doesn't know quite what she's doing, but she knows to trust her. She puts her hands out. And when she does that, when she looks over, the Scarlet Pickerel is there. The little red frog is on her hand, just on one of her fingers, on the 2 of her fingers. Suddenly he's there, looking out to the right. I get to add 3 bonus dice. I gotta trash the highest die and evaluate, though. Right? And what else can I do? Anything else? I don't think I need to do anything else. This is the best card for Savannah, because one of her powers is play when trashing dice. Trash 1 fewer die. So she doesn't have to trash anything, actually. She'll start get the bonus 3 dice. We need a 12. That's the 12 right there. As she does this, Evangeline's waiting, and Brian's like, "What is she doing?" And they didn't notice the light going out, but Evangeline can see it. It's really, really light. It's almost like sending out an audio sample of the light from inside her instead of the light itself. It's almost just waves going out. And then suddenly there's a dog and there's a cat, and then there's other dogs and other cats and a bird, and all of a sudden all these pets that had been wandering around, lost. Their parents had gone, their families had gone, or they were outside when the storms hit. They start coming, and suddenly they're surrounded. Terry and Brian are animal activists, so they're like immediately on it, like taking in the cats, showing them love, getting them all around. They're surrounded by cats and dogs and fish, and birds, and I don't know what else, bearded dragons and all this other shit. Just lots of pets all around them. And Savannah looks at Evangeline, and then they just kind of lock eyes. And Evangeline, Savannah turns and just starts walking like queen of the fucking pets, with all these animals going behind her, following her, and Terry and Brian and Evangeline behind her. Because this was a drawn from this deck, we get to seal this. Okay, she's got to take a die of body damage. We'll roll it. 2. Oh, that's not her. 1. And I gotta do one of these randomly. I don't know how to explain this body damage other than that these animals, a lot of the animals, especially a couple of the birds and stuff like that, large and small, parrots and shit like that, land on Savannah like she's Dr. fucking Doolittle. That's the crazy thing that comes through Evangeline's mind as they're following her towards the huge green woman, that she's some kind of crazy Dr. Doolittle. We take the damage. We're going to put that away. We're going to look through here. And there she is. And there we are. So, I have the very last, Evangeline and Savannah, last night, they haven't slept very much. Well, they did. They slept in the car with Terry and Brian, but last night, or yesterday, they had gone to Jacksonville, Mississippi in order to meet Gaia, knowing that Gaia was maybe going to enter the world there. They went there to meet her to, they didn't know what they were going to do, but to try to work something out before she would bring doom onto New Orleans and then the rest of the world. They didn't succeed, only because the mother woke and was too big, and they didn't succeed because they didn't get there in time, and she went walking off, and this is where we met her now. But at the end of that, they did succeed, so they got the Enduring Fragment, and this crazy ass card, which is Initiate versus Mother Gaia, bury, go to win. Let's read the Enduring Fragment memory. When you were little, your favorite stories were the one with animals, like Peter Rabbit. You were so scared when Mr. McGregor almost caught Peter. You had nightmares for weeks. You started to sneak carrots out of your refrigerator and left them in the backyard. When you got older, you veered to avoid squirrels in the road. You sent money to the no-kill shelter. You stopped eating meat. So, a highly successful campaign. That thing that triggered, that little thing that opened up, that Tesla, it had always been there. Savannah, as she's walking towards Gaia, she's remembering bits of her life that she had forgotten. Savannah's suffering from a lot of amnesia because of the experiments that were done on her. But she's remembering these things, and mostly emotions when it comes to animals and nature, and how much she cared more for them than for humanity itself. And so she's bringing that energy with her. When Mother Gaia, in the middle of going to rip off a roof and act out in rage, when she looks down and she sees this queen with her entourage of animals following her, and she stops, and suddenly the rain in all this area stops, and it's quiet. It's an unsettling quiet because of how quickly it happens and how unnatural it happens for what they've been through. Suddenly there's no rain, there's no sound, there's no wind. And Mother Gaia goes, "What is this?" Savannah's going to speak out. I know what I want to have happen. I'm going to do my best to describe it. Savannah speaks out. "I come to speak for humanity." Mother Gaia's face crinkles up in rage, to reminded of what the what she's fighting right now. And Mother Gaia says, "I'm here to destroy humanity." And Savannah says, "The let me think this through. You why do you fight us? Why? We'll say why. Why? Why all the you're a disease. You are a disease on my beautiful planet. You destroy everything you touch. You build these sores, and she's looking at the buildings. You build these sores and boils on my skin. You're an infection. Savannah says, "That's true. Like bacteria. Like, what's another good example? Yes, like bacteria. We'll stick with bacteria. Yes, like she looks like Mother Guy's like, I don't know why this is, but Savannah has a point. All your creations, Mother, have their good sides and their bad sides. There is no good or evil in your kingdom, right? And Mother Gaia goes, "No, there is only me. There is only me. And the other Novum, who you work for. You are the tools for the other Novum to strip away my powers. To keep me. Yeah, not to keep me. To strip away my powers." Now, this is a little different. Now, Savannah wasn't necessarily expecting this, but she understands it. She understands the fight for control and the fight for power. She's very aware of that. Although she's new to the whole Novum Saints game and shit, they do know like a struggle just happened in Las Vegas, and the book before this, where the Saints had found contracts that all the Novum had made with each other in order to keep things kind of like keep a peace, if you will. And those contracts were all going up. They were finished with their time. Their time was up with the contracts, and that's why all the Novums are like trying to seize power and cause their own chaoses in order to reshape the world the way they want it. And Mother Gaia, like incensed by this, by them all doing this, has brought her own apocalypse to bear, and but she feels like she's fighting against all the Novum and humanity, and that humanity is their tools. And Savannah says, we do hold no ties to other Novum. In fact, we feel the yoke upon our necks of the other Novum as well. We are not their pets, nor are their work animals, nor their cattle, nor their cows, nor their, you get my point. And she says that, then Mother Gaia pauses. And the pause is louder than the rain was. And Mother Gaia takes a moment then to actually look at what she's seeing. All these animals around Savannah. Terry and Brian, they all got these animals all around them. There's a fucking monkey, someone's pet monkey, wrapped around Brian. Evangeline's standing there with her eyes and everything. She's totally not aggressive, totally just pleading with her eyes. And Savannah says, "We love you. Out of all the Novum, you're the only one that we actually, we adore your children." I mean, it makes sense because the death one is fucking zombies and shit and devils, and Mother Gaia is actually literally the only Novum that we can that is part of our lives and part of our reality, and that we can both benefit from. This is another point that that makes Mother Gaia pause. The anger starts draining from her as she's seeing this. That her children, the animals and stuff like that, can be so tied to them. She takes a moment to ask them all. This is without Savannah or Evangeline hearing them. No, none of them can hear it. Terry Bryan, they all cannot hear this. As Mother Gaia puts out, asking them all. And then one unified voice, all these animals plead the case for their friends, their caretakers. Yes, not every human is a good human, but neither is every tiger, neither is every bacteria. Like it's all neutral. There's good and bad, destruction and growth, and the fact that there is growth is what makes Mother Gaia pause. So I will make a deal. What the fuck is his name? Shit. What's his name? I will make a deal with you, humans. Hold on. Savannah and Evangeline's hearts like go crazy. Like this could actually fucking work. I will make a deal with you, humans. You are my children. Abramelin. That's a demon's name. I will make a deal with you. It's not a demon, actually. It's a very, very old sorcerer. But I will make a deal with you, humans. You will be part of my world as well. I will accept you as my children if you accept my children as well. And you turn your backs from the other novum. Savannah, without stopping to consult with the rest of humanity, says immediately, yes. Then I will speak to Abramelin now and forge a new pact. And Mother Gaia walks off, exit stage left, boom, boom, boom. Or maybe she disappears, or maybe she starts walking and then suddenly turns into a billion butterflies as the storm immediately disperses. Sunlight comes out and a million green little butterflies go off into the sky, heading west to Las Vegas, where Mother Gaia will meet with Abramelin, the Oathbinder, and reforge their contract. And now it's on humanity and the other saints to make it known that they are not the pawns nor children of the other novum, and that they stand against them and not against Mother Nature. That's where we're going to end the Book of the Animus. Savannah and Evangeline are going to head back to Imogene Cassidy's home with their new friends, Brian and Terry. Brian and Terry's minds are fucking blown, but are very happy to have been there. It was like their whole lives as being animal activists had led them to being at that moment, being at the table when nature and humanity decided to work together. I think after this is all said and done, Evangeline and Savannah, or at least Savannah, I'm not going to say this now because we don't know what's in store. The ladies will be back in one of the future books. There's 4 more books. I think 4 more books. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think there's 4 more books. So the ladies will probably be back in they will definitely be back in another book. We are going to move from this book and we're going to rejoin Gabriela Vargas and Frank. Is it Frank Black? And it's not Frank Black. Gabriela is the motorcycle chick. I say chick, but that's chick. Motorcycle lady, and Frank Black is her cop friend / lover. He's a hardcore Chicago cop. They were in Las Vegas. They are heading back to Chicago now by motorcycle, but they're heading through fairy country. And we will be the Book of the Fae will be the next book we start. Stay tuned. And but this is thank you very much for being here for the end of the Book of Animus. And this wobbly fucking table. Oh, let's see. We might as well level the ladies up. Battle for New Orleans. Here it is. This is the Battle of New Orleans mission fleeting fragment or enduring fragment. The strategic initiative. Used to watch the grackles massing in the sky over the river, hundreds then thousands of them, the flock flexing a muscle as it shifted directions. It was beautiful, even if they were an invasive species. Then it was tens of thousands at a time. You wondered where they stayed when they were not in the air over New Orleans. Now you know. Evaluate using body. May flip one body die, then trash one die. I'm going to give that to Savannah. No. Maybe? I don't know. Yes. No, I mean Evangeline. And then Savannah's good. We're not even going to draw their other fleeting fragments. Well, that didn't last nearly as long as I thought it would, but that's okay. Because we got to resolve it exactly how I wanted to, and the cards played out perfectly. This coming up was not expected, but played so fucking well into the story that I'm so glad it happened. That's why I love playing these games, is because these things come up, and if you know how to read them, suddenly everything makes sense. I'd like to take a thanks out to the Scarlet Pickerel for showing up at the right time, and Tesla. And thank you everybody for stopping by. Turkey, Spooky, Awesome, Age, and Hammerman. You guys probably aren't here, but thank you. Y'all have a great night. Viva la Dungeon.